Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another GTHL team review. I'm Jaden alongside Kirby Sloan, and as we talk you through a great season for the Vaughan King, so a really talented team who had a pretty successful year in the GTHL. Let's take a look down their roster. We take a look at their goalies first, Logan Kennedy and Landon Miller, the netminders for the Kings. We'll get into them a little bit more later. On defense, who do you think was the standouts for them on defense this year?
This team is a very deep defensive team, and that's what I really enjoyed about watching them play on the defensive end. You have guys like Gabriel Carvalho, and you have guys like Sam O'Reilly, who are well regarded as one of the best in the league. He's a very adaptable player, you can say. He could play both right wing and defense. You have guys like Nolan Sullivan. You have guys like Marcus Tryfon. You have a lot of depth at the defensive team, and a lot of guys I'm very excited to talk about later on.
Yeah, filling out the rest of that blue line, Jaden Holloway, Dylan Piet, and Michael Schiavone. So, again, like you said, a very deep defensive group. As we take a look now at the forwards, once again, lots of depth here and lots of explosive talent. Who are the standouts up there?
I really enjoyed watching this team play, especially for their offense. Like we were saying, they've been very explosive. They're very quick. You get speed from guys like Luciano Bruno, Ryan Castle, even like Paolo Ferri. These are very quick forwards that have a good first stride. When they play together on a line, it's very impressive to watch. I even enjoy watching guys like Connor Irwin, who's a little bit taller than some of the guys I've named, standing at 5'11", but he's still just as quick and is able to push the pace. This is a very team-first team, and that's what I really liked about watching them on offense.
All right, filling out the rest of that forward group, Romeo Lini, Caden Petra, Logan Sawyer, Justin Tavares, Matthew Tubritt, and Josh Petrini. So again, lots of depth there, lots of talent, and let's take a look at how the Vaughan Kings fared this season. They finished sixth place in the GTHL with a 14-8-6 record for 607 win percentage. They averaged 3.07 goals per game and averaged 2.61 goals against per game. So like you can see there, usually outscoring their opponents. They won more games than they've lost. So a really great, successful season, kind of in the middle of that playoff picture for the Vaughan Kings. Let's take a look now at the goalie tandem, Logan Kennedy and Landon Miller, the two goaltenders for the Vaughan Kings. What do you have on Logan Kennedy, Kirby?
I really like Logan Kennedy. I mean, this team, I think, in the net has been very impressive. Both goaltenders have really had their moments to shine. I like how competitive Logan Kennedy is. He's a really competitive goaltender. He uses his speed more than his size, which is something you don't see a lot of goalies do. He utilizes his quickness to make sure that he's positioned really, really well, and that gets into spots really quickly. If the puck is moving cross ice, he's able to meet the play there, which is really impressive to see. He helps shift with the defense. I just really enjoy the way he uses his speed that some goalies you don't see utilized as much. They'd rather be the bigger body in the net and take up space than be able to move and adapt to the play. He's also known for being very consistent for this team. He's able to string together multiple strong outings without being phased, and he's just really good. And you know if you have him in the clutch, he's going to be consistent. You know he's not going to let a cheap goal go by. He's very good in that regard. He has very controlled movements, never looks out of position in the net, and he's never caught scrambling by other teams. It's very rare you'll see him scramble and go out of his poised comfort zone, and that's what I really like about him.
All right, and the other goaltender, Landon Miller, who may be one of the best goaltenders in that 2022 OHL draft. He's got the size. So, some goalies, like you said, they use their speed more than their size, but Landon Miller is a big goalie, and he has the size. He can make an impact at the GTHL level, of course, but he's also the kind of goalie who might be ready to make an impact in the OHL very early on. Despite being a big goalie, he is fast and he's athletic, and that makes him very reliable and consistent. He's always going to be able to get in front of the shots and make those big saves when he has to, and that makes him really, really hard to play against. That kind of dynamic play style where he's moving around in his net, he's getting in front of pucks, he's staying square, but he could also slide across and make those big saves. That's a big part of Landon Miller's game, and despite being big, he's learned really not to rely too much on his size. He's got great lateral movements. He's always getting square to the puck, and he's making those big stops using more than just his large size, his big wingspan. He's always square to the puck. He tracks it well. He gets in front of it. He moves laterally, and he doesn't rely entirely on his size. So really, all-around solid goalie is Landon Miller. As we get ready for the player spotlight now, so a couple of really talented players we just want to highlight on this team. What do you have on Caden Petra?
Yeah, you had touched on him a bit earlier. I really like Caden Petra. I think he's one of the best players going into this OHL draft class and one of the stars on this team. He's often regarded as one of the top two-way players in the league. In my opinion, he could be in that top 5, top 3 conversation. Petra serves both an offensive and a defensive threat, which is not something you get from a lot of players. It makes him a tough opponent for teams in this league, and it's something that's going to be really impressive as he progresses to the next level. That's something you look for as an OHL coach or a scout. That's something you really like. He's one of the best skaters in the league. He has some really strong edge work that you'll notice when you watch him skate with that speed. His speed makes him a formidable opponent for other players, especially on the defensive end, knowing that players often struggle to outskate him or blow past him. He's really tough if you're trying to race with him, if you're trying to battle with the puck. Not often you're going to get by him, causing you to be more physical with him, but he's willing to play physical back, which is what makes it really tough to play against him. Another strength he has is his shot. It's a fast release, it's hard, and it makes him a lethal scoring threat more often than not, really, for this team. You'll notice he's finding the back of the net. He's there when you need him to be, and that's what makes his team successful. When you have guys that can score, you will be successful, and that's what Petra's done so well.
Yeah, speaking of guys who can score, Sam O'Reilly, formerly a defenseman, he made the transition to being a forward recently, and he's become one of the best power forwards in the GTHL, and he's just that standard power forward role. He plays hard, he plays strong, he battles, he goes to the net. He's got great speed, and he really relies on it offensively, but he's got a great shot as well. So he can burn by you, but he can also rip a shot. So really, it's hard to defend him when you've got those two options, and you can see that it's something that he's kind of developed from his days on the blue line, where you're firing shots from the point a lot more. He's really developed that strong shot. He can still play on the blue line as well. He shifts back and forth sometimes, which makes him a very versatile option. And he's a great back checker as well. He uses that speed in both ends of the ice. He goes in hard on the forecheck, and he comes back hard on the back check. So a really good 200-foot player as well. O'Reilly's got great on-ice vision. He sees his teammates so well. He's always looking to find those opportunities to create options for his teammates, but also to find open space and to find opportunities for himself as well. And he's good using the body. Okay, he's going to play the body. He's not going to shy away from the physical contact. He he's willing to battle in the corners. He's willing to battle in front of the net. And he plays on both the power play and the penalty kill. Again, that kind of time on the defensive side of things has really helped him develop his defensive instincts, which has really helped him on the penalty kill. So a great player, Sam O'Reilly, Caden Petra, our player spotlight, says we'll take a look at our kind of draft tiers here, as we've got a bunch of the players who we think might end up being selected in this OHL draft. We divided them into tiers. So we've got round 1, round 2 through 5, rounds 7 through 10, rounds 11 through 13, and rounds 15. So what do you have from the first round?
The first round, I think the obvious choice is someone we just touched on, and that's Caden Petra. He's somebody that I just think has the ability to progress into the OHL. We talked about how his skills really are adaptable, and he's somebody that can really jump to the next level quite quickly. I think his transitional period is going to be a lot shorter than other players we may touch on. He just seems ready for that next level. He's somebody that players in this league are scared of. His physicality, his build is something that's really going to carry over and be really impressive, and I think he's a clear-cut first-round pick on this team. But we do have some fringe first-round picks, and that brings us to our next level, which is our round 2 guys in that area, and someone we just talked about, Sam O'Reilly, somebody that I think can really make that jump into the OHL. He's got the strong game for it. He's somebody whose game can be adaptable into the next round. He's somebody that I can see going in the first. I think it's more realistic he drops to the second, but if you get him in the second, I think that's an absolute steal of a player to get. He's one of my favorites in this draft class.
All right, Logan Sawyer and Landon Miller are other guys who we think might fall in that second to third round range. On to the next section, rounds 5 through 7. Justin Tavares is the player we're looking at in there. Rounds 8 through 11, we've got Logan Kennedy in there, the other goaltender. The rest of the rounds, Luciano Bruno and Marcus Tryfin fill out the rest of the squad. So maybe some sleeper picks towards the end of it there, but still so much talent there. Luciano Bruno especially, we've seen he can be electric. But again, a great season for these Vaughan Kings and a lot of talent. So we're looking forward to see how they do at the draft, and looking forward to see how they do in the rest of their careers. Jaden Ho for Kirby, Sloan, and everybody else here at the Six Hockey. We'll see you next time.